single jungler being ganked away.
Yeah.
Vi is open, Pantheon is open, Elise is open. It's going to be actually very fun to see what Supa Hot Crew goes with. Will they take the Elise like most teams? Or do they more want, you know, the heavy engaged one for Impaler's side? The Gragas ban? Moops has kind of been a Gragas only player for a long time, and teams know this, so the ban is actually very smart.
Well, I mean, all of the bans from Millenium is Moops. Every single one. You think of the champions he's played over the last time, he was famous for Morgana, famous for Gragas, pulled out Ziggs and he started learning that. Now what's he going to be left with?
Well, he has Orianna. Kind of reminds of the same kind of champions. You can farm a lot, and he also has Kayle. He played it last week, and actually it went pretty well. It's the same kind of champion. You farm a lot early game, you get strong for the team fights. If they don't lock it in here, I haven't actually seen Curb play Kayle before, so I'm not sure if he's gonna pick it up. However, though, Morgana here, they love to play Morgana Caitlyn bot lane, like Morgana support, and just shove the wave constantly. That's what's like Tristana. She's very weak against these heavy shove combos. So this actually opens up for Millenium going Tristana once again, if they were happy about it for first game.
Caitlyn was locked in. Talk about, obviously, that he did play Tristana. To varying effects. We're still not sold on that one yet. It looks like it will be Thresh as the opener, of course. Does leave a couple of options open, but the Annie being banned out, of course, means that Mixer, who himself went for Morgana as support before, maybe was thinking about that, but of course that was banned out. Maybe, I mean, is that a respect ban? I mean, it did do very well for Supa Hot Crew up against Rockout last week.
It's a ban saying, we know you don't really play Annie. We're now picking away Thresh, which is the counter to Leona. So what is he going to go with? Is he going to fall back on a Nami? He's played it before. Or did he actually start practicing Annie? He didn't play it before. He never played it before in LCS. So I like the way Millenium is actually doing this, trying to shut down Mixer and also make it harder for Mr. Rales to do anything in the lane then. He did early pick the Caitlyn, so he's going to be fairly safe and will be able to farm. Lucian coming in on the other side, basically saying Lucian, Caitlyn, they kind of go even in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically saying, we didn't believe in Tristana either earlier on.
I'm actually very happy that didn't go in for the Tristana here. She's a very weak pick against Caitlyn. Oh yeah, the Sonar. He played it as well before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it works. I actually always liked Sonar versus Thresh because you have so much poke on him. As long as you can dodge the hooks, he can't really do anything to you and you can just constantly poke him down. And if he does engage on you after level 6, you can counter engage with your ultimate right in the face of him and a team.
There is Pantheon being locked in, so it's Impaler going for that one. It worked very well for him last week. 2 wins on it. Means that RNA won't have it available. Did also see a LeBlanc being hovered over by Curb just at the end there.
I think so. He actually instant locked it in. Curb on these assassins where he can make plays. He really wants to punish moves. However, Orianna is actually very good versus LeBlanc, so they kind of open up for moves to go that route. Maybe trying to scam a little bit away from the Kayle. Pantheon pick. I think Supa Hot Crew is one of the only teams who's actually not taking Elise when it's up. Because they want to play to what they know they're good at. And they want to play with... And he doesn't even pick Elise. Anyhow, they want to play to where they know Impaler is good. They want him on the champions he can do engages on and where he can do the early, like, very aggressive plays.
Well, Elise was used by Aranea in the previous game against Rocket, but he's gone back to Elise in. It's a champion he played very well throughout the summer, and this time around, going to try and work it against the Supa Hot Crew.
Now the question is, will Aranea stay around the mid lane like we've seen him in the past weeks, constantly getting Curb going, or will he shift the focus again more towards the top lane and try and get Kevin rolling and, you know, want Curb to kind of win his lane alone? That's actually very interesting to see. I expect the bot lane to be kind of left alone though, because they will do fine with this fresh Lucian setup.
Well, maybe the question's going to get answered here. Does Moobs play Kayle? Maybe he will be. It's an interesting pick. I was going to say that's a dangerous pick because Kayle can be very squishy early on, especially against LeBlanc. It will be an Orianna falling back on that one, and it's going to be a Mundo in the top for Maimer.
Yeah, Maimer just constantly picks this Dr. Mundo. Yes, he loses the early game a little bit, but once you get to team fights, he's very strong. Orianna pick versus LeBlanc, very smart. You can get a few skills in your shield early game, and you can just prevent all the damage from LeBlanc and just poke him out constantly. Warwick. Kevin actually went for Warwick.
He did go for Warwick.
And I quite like that versus Dr. Mundo because you get very tanky late game, you have a lot of impact, both is running teleport so they can follow each other, and this is pretty much a free farm lane for Warwick because Mundo won't be able to poke it down.
It seems that the Millenium players are happy with it, big smiles on their faces. They got a cheer from the crowd, of course, and they was locked in. So what do we make of these two teams? I mean, this is something we've seen before from Supa Hot Crew. A couple of champions that actually, I think, will synergize very well.
Yeah, they will synergize very well together if they can get the right engage, you know. Grand Skyfall coming in and then followed up by a Sonar ultimate from Mixer. We saw him flash ultimate last time. It was so good. I have to kind of touch on something I said myself just before with the bot lane. Caitlyn, Zona actually, if they get an early push going, they will pretty much force Lucian and Fresh to lose a lot of CS at the turret, and therefore force Aranea to come down and help. So I expect them to actually draw a lot of attention early.
Well, you've heard what Deficio and myself have to say about this one, but let's check what you guys at home think. According to the numbers, it is 52% of you have voted for the Supa Hot Crew. I'd love to check. I think that may be the first vote that Supa Hot Crew have won.
Yeah, it was one of the first very close votes we actually have. So far, it's been very one-sided. I like the fact that people actually believe in both teams. This is